Today we'll be interviewing a lecturer in Ames University, which will be sitting beside me. Good morning, Dr. Yeoh.
Yeah, good morning.
First of all, can you introduce yourself to us?
I am Dr. Yeoh from FPM. I'm lecturing more on marketing subjects. And currently I'm also the PG coordinator. Yeah.
Dr. Yeoh, what is your degree of education as of now?
Degree of education, sir. My degree was IB, International Business.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then I further in master in MBA. Then I did my PhD in USA.
US. What's your first job after you graduate from your PhD?
Okay. After I graduate, I think my first job after my graduating after MBA, I work as the marketing in higher purchase divisions.
What company?
Affin Bank. I worked for a while, then I pursue my PhD. So then I decide to take as a full-time work. So I stopped from working. That one considered as my first working.
Experience.
Yes.
What is it that motivates you to become a lecturer in Ames University then?
Motivate me to become after graduating from PhD, I think I would like to try in academics because before that also after I worked as the marketer in Affin Bank, I actually worked for almost half year in PTPL that time. I think now they recognize it as MSU.
Oh,
Yes. So I worked there for some times. That time I'm actually doing my study, PhD, and working as a lecturer in that.
half studying, while half working.
Yes, yes. So after PhD, then I further this one my academic life, work in academic.
How do you feel when you first becoming a lecturer? Is it difficult?
Yeah. It's challenging because first time, we become the lecturer, and this job is really we have to get in touch with students, human, which have um, different of thinking, attitudes, and we also as a human, we learn how to actually interact with all the students. I think that's a challenging also.
I see.
Yeah. Mm.
Do you have any regrets becoming a lecturer?
Oh, definitely no. Until now, no. I think it's my pleasure to actually have this opportunity to learn through. I think I learn also from the students.
Is becoming a lecturer your actual dream job?
Yes. Is that's why I think I further my study because they say the qualifications must be like at least PhD that time when before I joined the academic.
So after you are lecturing students for this long, what do you think is your major strength you have developed through all of this?
Mm, Major strength. I think still come back to maybe a little bit improving on teaching
The
compared to
basics?
first. Yes. How to I think the interactions with students still is the priority. Major strength. I consider it still learning lah, learning lah.
Still trying to communicate through an effective two-way communication with the student, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you find happiness in lecturing all kind of students you have encountered so far?
Yes, definitely. Because I think from student we learn, from the colleague also we learn, and happiness is like when we achieve, we see our student achieve in their success, they succeed, we also feel the happiness.
See. What about the international students which enroll into AIMS?
Okay, international students. For so far, I have I think one student for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
He is now our MBA students as well. You mean how the interactions or
Mm-hmm. Is there any barriers such as the accent or slang?
no, no, international students, to me they are friendly. Maybe it's not their country, and they are humble, and they try to mm, follow actually what we guide them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so to me, international students so far I don't have any problem.
Mm. Then, as working as lecturer, how do you even out your time working as a lecturer while uh, with, even out with your family time?
Okay, I try what I can actually after working, because it's already almost 12 hours we spend on working. Another 12 hour we spend for our family, but I think we sleep
For
more.
roughly 8 hours.
Yes. All right. So I try to think that when I reach to my house, I don't want to think anything about work. That's my family time. I
So
just
you
want to
just spend
spend.
the rest of average around 4 hours with your family, just
Yes,
enjoy, relax.
yes, yes. And weekend, that's the real family time for me.
All right. So after encountering all kind of personalities soon with different attitudes and such, what do you find the most frustrating about them?
About the
Students.
students, one more thing is like I would like to advise students when come to work or come to anything, attendance or anything, don't give excuse. Okay, for any work assigned to them, try your best to do, and if you cannot do or you are not really understand, you can come and discuss, but never
Mhm.
give excuse like all kind of excuses.
Like you are
Uh,
busy or you have many things planned out, is it?
yes, and my group mates is actually okay with that, all that, but it's not giving all the excuses. You can try to get extend if you
Hmm.
cannot submit, you cannot do it, but don't give excuse. I think that's one thing.
So that's what makes you the angriest, is
Yes,
it?
yes, I like people who admit their mistake but and learn from it, but never give excuse to the mistake. Right. Okay.
All right. Um, so for the next 5 year, what is the goal that you want to achieve within 5 years?
Within 5 years, I
Mm-hmm.
hope can spend times for some of my publications maybe, because I was tied up with all the administrative work, and sometimes for research, and sometimes for events with students if can,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of event academic related, or your activity, students activity,
So basically, you want more time with
students.
participating with events with students, with less work with the paperwork in the office, is it?
Yes, I hope I can.
Oh,
Yeah.
so maybe this will be the last question.
Mm.
After your work in this field for this long, what is your advice for the freshman lecturer that want to get into this field?
Okay, because I think now for all the students also, we are trying to achieving the outcome-based learning. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we understand students also have their own learning time. You have your leisure time. So the fresh lecture, they must understand all these outcome-based learning
Mm-hmm.
process. So that will help them in their teaching time, setting up all the assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and achieving the goal of what actually the objective of the courses they are teaching. I think that's my advice.
All right.
Mm.
Thank you, Dr. Yeoh, for spending your time on this interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Right, thanks.